Hey, what is going on? This is your stimulus check updated information for today. A lot of new states are stepping up and sending out stimulus checks to people. Looks like there's possibility of this fourth stimulus check that could be coming down the road in this giant $3.5 trillion budget plan that Nancy Pelosi has set up. And that looks like it's going to be probably moving into the right direction of getting that passed for the American Families Plan. So I'm going to cover a lot of details for you about what's happening with stimulus right now, get you caught up on all the payments that are going out. In fact, this looks like next week, there's going to be another set of stimulus checks going out to everybody on the 15th. This is going to be the child tax credit. This is those that do have children are going to be eligible for this child tax credit. So if you have children under the age of 6, you get a $300 check on September 15th. And then children between the age of 6 and 17 get a $250 check. And that's going to be going out on the 15th. It's a $3,600 total plan for anybody with kids under the age of 6, and then a $3,000 plan for anybody between the age of 6 and 17. But what the Treasury is doing is they're splitting up half of that into monthly payments, starting in July, moving that through the end of December. So everybody that does have children that qualified will be getting that payment check. The same qualifications, if you received your stimulus check from before the $1,400 and you did put dependents on as your children, then you will be receiving that check. So that will be coming to you. Now, if you received a check in July and direct deposit, if they send a check to you in the mail in August, I think they're going to go back to the direct payments into your bank account. So look for that payment probably around the 15th of this month. It's still the same qualifications, $75,000 or less for singles, and then $150,000 or less for married couples filing jointly. Some people have asked about finding the checks. Like, you went into the portal and you couldn't, and they said they sent the check out, but you never received it. Maybe it got lost in the mail, maybe it got stolen, whatever. There is a way to trace this. There's a trace on the Treasury website. You can go there, and they're asking for just a couple of time frames on this. First, you have to get into the Get My Portal, and you get into Get My Portal, and once you get inside the Get My Portal, then you'll be able to see the status of your check. If it was already sent, then obviously you wait for it. But if you can't find it after a certain amount of time, then you can trace it. So there is 5 days since the direct deposit date, provided the bank hasn't received the payment, you can file the trace. 4 weeks since the payment was mailed to a standard address, then you can do a trace. 6 weeks since the payment was mailed if the post office has a forwarding address on file for the recipient. And then 9 weeks since the payment was mailed for those with an international address. So anybody that missed their check or lost it, did not receive it, you can go to the Treasury website and you can do a trace. And what they'll do is they'll just look for that check. They'll see if it was cash. They'll see if it was signed, whatever. If it was lost, they'll just cancel that one and they'll reissue a new one. But you have to go to the website in order to do that. Once you get that, you'll get all the information to get that sent out to you. Now, as far as the child tax credit, no, you don't have to do anything. There's nothing where you have to fill out any more information. If you filed your returns in 2019 or 2020 and you had your dependents on there, they'll automatically know that information and they'll send you out a stimulus payment for that. So that's good news for those that do have children. So a lot of Democrats are not real happy about the extensions that are stopping. So the unemployment benefits have stopped, and this is something that a lot of the Democrats, they're not really happy about that, and they want to extend these out. Now, President Biden has not come forth and said that he's going to extend these programs out. In fact, he has really not said anything about it. These programs have ended. Looks like the unemployment payments on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis have been canceled, and then also the moratoriums for eviction, I believe, have been started back up. So that's going to be people that haven't paid rent in a while. They can evict you. But President Biden did say that the door has been left slightly open for states to use this money to continue payments. So there are some states where it makes sense for unemployment workers to continue receiving additional assistance for a long period of time, allowing residents of those states more time to find a job in areas where unemployment remains high. So this is each state has billions and billions of dollars that has been sent to them in the American Rescue Plan, they have the ability to turn around and pay out people in that area. In fact, there's about 10 states right now that are already starting to do that. Now, the Democrats do have slim majorities in both the House and the Senate, and they're trying to get this big $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation package done. Looks like over the course of the next couple of weeks, they're really going to be debating this to try to get this moving forward. So I look forward to seeing them at least get some type of program moving down the road, hopefully sneaking in the American Families Plan in this giant budget reconciliation plan. So the fourth stimulus check is not really off the board, but there is a group. It's the TSCL, is a group of advocates for senior citizens, benefits like increased Social Security and Medicare benefits. So the thing is right now is that the inflation rate is absolutely going crazy. I mean, it's like 6, 7, 8%. Now the benefits for Social Security are only rising about 1.3%. That's not really keeping up with inflation. They're really, it's going to be paying a lot more at the, you go out and pay for things. It's going to be a lot more expensive because of the fact that they're printing so much money and that money is being inflated, but it's causing a lot of craziness with prices. And so right now there is a group that's trying to get another stimulus payment out to senior citizens because those people have been affected a lot by it because they just aren't able to maybe go find work. They're not able to support themselves, or their savings are starting to run out. So this is the time where I think that a lot of these groups are coming together to try to get these individual payments out to those citizens. Because if you do have children, obviously you're getting a check for that. Why not take care of the senior citizens? If you are at SSI or SSDI, you can file your returns with the Treasury. And once you do that, you'll be able to pick up that fourth stimulus check. If you've never filed before, that would be a great time to do that. You want to definitely go to the Treasury website, fill out that, fill out the forms, and then get all your information in there. You can put your bank account in there. You can get your address in there, and you'll be able to get your payment out. And also, there's a recovery rebate credit section in the filings, and you can fill out that information and get your first and second check if you miss those checks. Good news for California, $600 payments are coming to about 6,000 people in that state. I believe there's probably going to be even more, but for right now, it looks like payments are going out this week, $600 payments. Same thing as the federal. If you made less than $75,000, you get a Golden State stimulus. It's good timing for the governor out there. Looks like they're trying to recall him. So I think this is something that I don't know if it's going to help him his re-election, but they're definitely out there trying to support him, trying to get him back in or stay in as governor. Now, some people in New York, they're actually taking some of the stimulus checks in New York, and they're going to be turning around and paying people. So there's about 2,000 artists who receive payments, and this is up to about $5,000, which is pretty good. So more than $60 million relief will be set aside for the state's struggling taxi industry that has faced relentless competition from Lyft and Uber, and then $125 million will be spent tackling homeless in New York City. So that's a lot of money going out to those. I'm not sure if they're just going to be handing out checks to people or how that's going to work. There's a giant petition of this monthly checks, $2,000, to try to get Congress to step up and start sending people out checks on a monthly basis. I personally thought they should have done that at the beginning. They asked these businesses to close down, and they continue to tell these businesses to shut down. And it's easy for politicians just to say, well, let's just shut down the businesses. But if businesses can't support themselves or have employees come in there, then it's just a whole domino effect that's really taken effect on the people in that area. So I thought personally they should have come out with some type of reoccurring payment. I think in the future they'll have that. It's just a matter of how they're going to get that out to people the quickest. Because right now they're trying to go through Congress. Congress has to work on it. Then they have to vote on it. President Biden signs it. Then it goes over to, finally President Biden signs it, and then it's law. But it takes forever, and it's taken a long time. And then they have to go through banks, try to get checks out, try to get direct deposits out. There also is some money available to those that are struggling with paying the internet service. I don't know why they put this specifically in there, but it looks like it's a program that makes money available for Americans to get a monthly discount on the cost of internet service, up to $50 a month of cost of broadband service and related equipment rental, a discount of $75 a month on broadband service for homes on qualifying tribal lands and a one-time discount of $100 on a laptop, tablet, or PC. So looks like you can go to the getemergencybroadband.org website and you can fill out that application. Once you sign that and get that in, then it looks like they'll be able to help you with your broadband internet. I think there is some qualifications in there. You have to show that you did have a loss in income. But if you go to getemergencybroadband.org, you'll be able to fill out that information and get those details sent out to you to where you can pick up some of these additional costs. So a lot of states are stepping up. You got Vermont, Tennessee. These are all states that are starting to send out stimulus. $1,000 checks going out to educators in Tennessee. Some of the other bigger ones, like Georgia sending out $1,000 payments to teachers. Florida sending out $1,000. They're also sending out to educators, police officers, paramedics, EMT, and firefighters. Colorado sending out a small check. California obviously is sending out that $600 check to everybody in that state. So every state has till December 31st to get more stimulus out. If they can do that, then more people will be getting more stimulus checks. And I'm just going to keep you updated on a lot of the new states that are coming on board, try to get more stimulus out to everybody. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. This is your daily stimulus check update information for today.
We lose all moral authority to praise them, to thank them, and then say, but we don't want to spend money to have you keep your job. And then third, to put money in the pockets of the American people. It's about the lives, the livelihood. Remember, we needed a pause. So he pushed the pause button. As you know, we have been mightily trying to find common ground with our colleagues. It's hard when your values are so different in terms of bubble up from the working class families instead of trickle down from above. We'll be within range, but we must meet the needs of the American people. We could come down some because we can change the dates of expiration, the rest of that, but not undermine our priorities to meet the needs of the American people. And they're doing a lot to shore up the stock market, and that's probably a good thing for the economy. Why can't they do more to shore up America's working families? That people would have money in their pockets, would have consumer confidence, would spend, eject demand into the economy, create jobs. We see that slowing down. We're there representing the kitchen table needs of the American people. They're there representing the board conference room table, and that is a different perspective. And that's why it takes longer. Now, it takes a great deal, and I salute my colleagues because they have been very courageous, because the other side is going out there and making it like they're there for children and people in need, working families, which couldn't be further from the truth. And nothing gives more evidence to it than how they are conducting this. And what we put in our bill is what we saw as necessary to save the lives of the American people, the livelihoods of the American people.
We so urgently need, Mr. President, your big and bold Build Back Better plan. This is your way, Mr. President. So proud of what you have done, so impressed to boldly and courageously confront the challenges we face, racial and economic inequity or disaster response, and in the process, to build a healthier, a more unified, a more just, and a more robust United States of America.
Madam President, over the last number of years, as I think everybody in America knows, Congress has provided massive tax breaks for the very wealthiest people in our country, which is one of the reasons why today we have more income and wealth inequality than any time since the 1920s. In fact, in the midst of this terrible inequality has grown worse, with many in the billionaire class seeing their wealth increase by hundreds of billions of dollars, while average Americans struggle to put food on the table. Congress has given huge tax breaks for large corporations so that some of the most profitable and largest corporations in America today pay zero in federal income taxes. Over 500,000 Americans are homeless. Half of our working families are struggling to survive paycheck to paycheck. And in the midst of this terrible, unprecedented, over 90 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured in the midst of a pandemic, and they're not sure whether they can afford to go to a doctor. Recent poll came out. 78% of the American people think that was the right decision. They're hurting. They want help. The leaders of our country, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, are all in agreement that direct payment to $2,000. So that is where we are right now in this historic moment. Do we turn our backs on struggling working families, or do we respond to their